So today I would like us to go through distance plotting using distances and bearings. And before we continue, I would like us to go through our guide. You can see this 289 degrees, then 227, then we have 111 and 200. In order to understand the issue of bearings, you need to understand the concept of whole circle bearings. Whole circle bearings means, first of all, before you need to know about grid north. On every map that you have, the map is usually drawn based on the grid north. The angles are or bearings are usually measured from the grid north. So the grid north is always the when you have auto mode on your Civil 3D and you draw two crisscrossing lines. When the auto mode is activated, sorry, the line that faces upwards will always be the grid north. So for our whole circle bearing, you start from the grid north, which will be 0, then 90, then 180, then 270, and finally 360 or 0. So for our from our guide, we should note the following. This 111. This basically means 111 from every starting point. Suppose V4 is here, you have the starting point at this plane. That one will be 0. Then you will have 90. Then you will have 180. So this means that in order to achieve 111, you will have to measure V4 to V1. You will achieve 111. But if you measure from V1 to V4, you will achieve something different because the grid north is always measured clockwise, or rather the whole circle bearing is always measured clockwise. So from this point, if you want to measure the bearing from V1 to V4, you will have to draw your plane at this point. That one will be 0, then you will have 90, then you will have 180, then you will have 270, then you will have something more than 270. So you will not be able to achieve 111. So for this one, V4 to V1, you can see the bearing is 200, but you need to understand that you need to measure from the grid north. So suppose the grid north is here, the plane is here, you cannot achieve 200 from this grid north because that one is 0, then 90, then 180, but you need 200. That means you achieve that by measuring from this side, because this one will be 90, then you will have 180, 0, 90, 180, and maybe 20. Finally, we will have, let us do 229, 289. From V3 to V2, you cannot achieve 289 because this one will be 0, then you will have 90. You will not be able to achieve 289. That means you achieve 289 from this side because you will have 0, 90, 180, 270, and 19 adding up to 289. So this is how we shall do it. We will start with V2 and do 289 at the distance of 43. Then from V3, we measure 200, or we do 15 meters at the bearing of 200. We will be able to achieve this one. And from this point, V2, we shall draw, or we shall plot 16.8 meters by bearing of 227. We'll be able to achieve this one. And finally, from this point, you will be able to achieve or rather from this point you will be able to achieve 111. So now we start with V2. We start with V2 to V3. So note somewhere that we are starting with V2 to V3. V2 to V3. So let's go to our Civil 3D and select our starting point. So our starting point will be V2. Anywhere on the you will draw something. You will just draw two crisscrossing lines in other mode. They are so big. So let us say the other mode should be off. Now that we need to draw a line with the following bearing 289. So other mode is off. Other mode restricts you to draw lines and figures in 90 degrees. We don't need 90 degrees so now. So we start. So this one will be V2. Let us draw 43. So we select the line tool. So it tells you from the command line that you select the first point. So our first line will be always at the center of the of our whole circle bearing. So from our keyboard, let's type the distance. The distance is in blue. You can see the distance in blue. The distance is in blue, and the bearing will be in white. You can see the distance in the bearing in white. So 43. Then from your keyboard, hit shift, then the angle sign. The angle sign is I think you call it the smaller than or the greater than sign. It's red in color. You can see it. I hope you can see it clearly. 43, that's the distance. You don't input the units. The units are already in meters. So 43 at an angle of 289. 289 D for degrees. Then 24 minutes. Then 43 seconds. Then you hit enter. So you can see that you have achieved the 289, 24, 43. Then hit escape from your keyboard. So now we have achieved this. This will be V2. Let us annotate and create multi-line text. Click OK. That one will be our V2. Let's do it again. That one will be our V3. So we have to. So now we go to V3 to V4. V3 to V4 at the distance of 15. So V3 to V4. So home button, then click line, create a line, select the starting point. That will be our starting point. Then our distance is 15 meters, 15 from your keyboard, 15. Then shift angle sign 200 D for degrees, then 32 minutes, then 21 seconds, then hit enter. That one will be our V4. So hit enter or escape. So let us create some multi-line text for this. That one will be our V4. So finally, I want to measure the following 227 degrees. So you must measure from this point, because this one will be 0, then 90, then 180, then 227. So V2 to V1, V2 to V1, V2 to V1, 16.8. So create line, select the starting point. That will be our starting point. Make sure the other mode is off. So our distance is 16.8 from your keyboard. Then shift angle sign 227 D, then 43, is it? Let me confirm. 227, 43, 53. 43 degrees, 43 minutes, and finally 53 seconds. Then hit enter. Then escape. So this one will be our V1. V1. So now you need to draw you can join automatically, you can join them together since you know the starting and the end, but let us draw and see whether it will snap. Finally, we have 111. You need to measure it from this side since you have you need to measure from V4 in order to achieve 111. So this one will be our 0. Then you have 90. Then you will have 21. So 90 plus 21 will be 111. So we measure from, we plot from V4. Our bearings should be 100, no, sorry. Our distance to be 40.30. Then shift angle sign 111D, 35 minutes, then 01 seconds, then hit enter. So it's not snapping. So there was an error when that guy was doing whatever he was doing. So let us recheck the distance and the bearing. 40.3, 111, 30, 111, 3501. So basically this one goes to this point. But basically that's how you plot using distances and bearings. So in the next lesson we shall go through the procedure, or rather how you measure the distances and the bearings, how you annotate distances and bearings.